Okay, the meeting is called to order, the council meeting for February 17th. Madam Clerk, pledge please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Wheeler.
Present.
Mayor Bodier.
Present.
Police Chief Walker.
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr's absent. Finance Director Tom Turdion.
Here.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry.
Present.
And myself, Carrie Eustace, Clerk, present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment to the agenda. Well, a motion for amendment to add under special presentations, 1, the farmer's market with Chantel and Tina, and move in Chief Walker to number 2.
Okay, we have, we're now open for public hearing. Anyone coming forth to speak on it? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Johnson to add to special presentations, farmer's market, and bring it in as number 1, move Chief Walker down as number 2. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Agenda is amended.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda under new business to add a number 4, consider moving the...
Number 6.
I'm sorry.
It's going to be at number 6.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry. It's number 6. To consider moving the June council meeting date.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Buddy to move the June council meeting date. We'll now open for public discussion. No one coming to speak forth. We'll now close public discussion. Council discussion. Let's see if we can
Second.
nail down a date for June.
Second. Move for the vote.
All right,
Second.
we'll move for the vote for the amendment, for the change of date.
Yes.
Second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Okay, let's see. Y'all want to try to reset that date?
Under new business.
Under new business. Yep.
I'm sorry. All right, cool. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna do a little special presentation, if that's okay with everyone. I'm gonna hit this one first, Craig.
Hit that little light, man. Hit that little light.
I'll be quick. Okay, this is kind of real cool. We learned that this week. We actually did $20,000 more than any January in sales tax ever in the history of the city. So we're doing real good. Business is really picking up. People are staying home, shopping home, staying local, playing home, staying home. And so it's been a real good thing. I think the city is starting to, it took me a minute to try to get the business community to kind of start to turn the corner and really promote. But I think we're really starting to get in there, and we're actually seeing it in our tax collection dollars, which is really helping us continue on and do more projects for the city, and also giving us the ability to sometimes even work ahead as far as something like an IDA cleanup, which we had funding in place for, and that we were able to pay our subs, keep our subs local, and get them out and get them paid. So we were able to clean up a lot faster than any other communities, and these kind of things are huge when it comes to that. Investing in Harahan, we went up to the legislature this past week. That's Representative John Ilg with us. We actually sat in on the rural caucus meeting because, believe it or not, Harahan is declared a rural city. So we sat in learning some of the challenges that they had to deal with and kind of maybe telling our story a little bit. It's been great. This is us at the chamber luncheon, and the third picture is with us and Congressman Scalise in D.C. We think that not only do we do well with the state, Congressman Scalise has been a credible friend to the city. He has given us a lot of instrumental help in helping us find our way through Hurricane Ida bureaucracy, and he's just been there for me. He's always a phone call or a text away, and it's a great relationship that we're going to do everything in our power to continue to foster. Okay, so this is Wilson Street. Of course, it's we knew it would be a challenge from jumping in with the river coming up, and even when the river was down, we were still pulling so much water out of the ground that we wasn't able to do the construction that we needed. We had to put something in the ground called well points. We finally got there. I have a philosophy in Harahan that I don't band-aid anything. When we fix it, we fix the project right. We fix it from jump. So we want to make sure that the city is getting every bang for its buck and that it will hold in the future. What we had to do is under the manhole, so we have a soil subsidence issue on Wilson Street when the river comes up. it'll hold, and then when the river comes back, it takes the soil back with it. So what we did was we put screw piles under every manhole to keep the manholes stable, and if we do lose soil, it becomes a matter of just adding soil and not repairing entire infrastructure lengths. So that's what kind of a project we're working on right now. We're trying to wrap it up. We're actually putting the concrete in right now, and starting to rehab the streets, and we're rehabbing that area from sidewalk to sidewalk, because we think that the neighbors have endured enough that we want to leave that project as close to perfect as possible. Sewer infrastructure, this is us starting, the middle picture is actually new pumps coming in. We've been working on trying to get the sewer infrastructure system efficient, and the best way to get something efficient is to make as many moving parts in those things work amongst all lift stations. Right now, there's so many different styles of pumps and different things within every lift station. It's hard to fix them on the fly, because sometimes that happens. Flushable wipes has been an incredible enemy for us, and they will tend to tear up pumps real fast. This is us doing work back there, rediscovering manholes. Actually, that final picture right there is grease. That is one that we would love to ask people, please don't dump grease in your drains, business or home. Because that's what it ends up looking like, and someday your toilets ain't gonna flush. And I try to explain to people, why we doing so much work in our collection system, because there's two parts to a sewer system. There's your plant and your collection system. So what's happening as we start to repair the collection system, we have to do it first because it's pumping so much sand into the plant that every month it's about $30,000 to go pull the sand out of the plant. It's like dumping concrete into your plant. So we're going to repair the collection system, and as we start to repair the collection system, we're working on a grant now to come in. It's a little over $3 million to make the plant energy efficient. And as we start to get our collection system in place and bring this grant aboard, we'll have a tip-top, top-of-the-line sewer infrastructure that will last for decades. All right, so this is something that we're really going to start working on this year. We're really going to go after blight. If you have something that's blighted, please clean it up. We're trying to give every warning that we possibly can. I believe we towed quite a few cars away this week. They were a nuisance to the neighborhood. They're a spot where it's a potential for crime to happen. So we feel that Hickory and the entire city, but Hickory's where we're kind of concentrating our efforts on right now, because it's an inlet to our city, and it's the first thing that people see, and we want to make sure that the first thing that people see when they're coming into our city is something really pretty and nice. And so if you don't clean it up, we will clean it up, and we will fine you. Tulane came over. This is their nationally ranked bowling team. The girls were such a pleasure to meet with, and we've got to give them an award. They were incredible. They were here last month, I'm sorry. And then we have Dominican back at the playground, and they're always a state powerhouse, and they're a good representation of who we are and what we can do, because they play on the field, which we've actually gotten accolades for. That is one of the most top-notch green fields in all of Jefferson Parish. So we enjoy having them, and we're proud to have them. We're proud to have Tulane here as well. They've been incredible to us. And this is why our tax dollars are really booming. We opened, the chief and the assistant chief and the council and myself, we opened up 3 brand new businesses just in January, and which has been incredible for the city. Our farmers market is really starting to flourish. We're really excited about it. It's a public service that I love being able to give back to the community on. And we actually have someone here from the farmers market. Chantel will be here today to talk about it a little bit, just to try to really, let's work on supporting this market and kind of facilitate hometown. There's nothing more defines hometown than a farmers market, and it's such a piece where we locals can get out, and join one another and meet and talk and just have a good time together. And let's talk a little bit about I've been getting a lot of phone calls, of course, about the incident that happened with the carjacking. First of all, our police department is so incredible here, and I think a lot of people know it. We saw it in Ida. We've got tons of compliments in Ida, and I'm sure the chief will elaborate on this a little bit later. We've got tons of compliments in Ida, how we kept everyone safe. And again, when the news came and talked to me about it, the only thing I really had to say is that we try to support the police in every way we possibly can. We try to help in every way we can, and great job. Look what we've done here, and it's as simple as this. You want to come to our city and have a good time and go to our restaurants, you're more than welcome here. But you want to come here and misbehave, the police department will catch you, and we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. And that's it, bottom line. So I have one thing that came out of this whole ordeal, and we're asking some businesses actually to maybe be a part of this. We have a citizen, his name is Dale Velez, and he's from Young's Cleaners, and he is donating the police department $850 for a brand-new vest. And we're asking all of our business community to get involved. I mean, we've seen what the police can do, and as a community, we need to support them. And so, you know, we're asking everyone, if anyone would like to donate or help or support this police department, we're asking for money for a vest. It costs about $850 a vest, $850 a vest. I mean, these things do age out, they do get old, and they do have to be replaced. They don't last forever. And so I'm going to leave this up here for the chief when he comes up for his special presentation, and let him know that we can go ahead and at least get one. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Special presentations, Chantel Kerner and Tina Hunter with the Harahan Farmers Market.
Good evening. My name is Chantal Kerner, and I am the market manager for the Harahan Farmers Market. I would like to start off by thanking the mayor, the council members, and Chief Walker for their excellence in leadership and keeping our streets safe. I'm proud to be part of the Harahan community. And on that note, I would like to talk a little bit about the Harahan Farmers Market. We are a community project designed to bring small business owners together in a family-friendly environment to offer some of the finest local, fresh, handmade products available in the area. We have some amazing vendors, and we encourage you to come out weekly and support this project designed specifically for the members of our community. We are located at the Harahan Playground, 6601 10th Street, every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We just had our ribbon cutting this past Sunday. You saw the pictures. And despite the cold and the wind, we had a great time. We also just had a huge king cake party on the 6th, thanks to the hard work and efforts of Jimmy Dudenhofer. And now that we've settled into our new location at the playground, please feel free to come out, bring your entire family for lunch, including your fur babies. We love our fur babies. It's a happy, safe environment for everybody. If you would like more details or just to see the vendors list, please feel free to visit our Facebook page for any weekly market information. We can be found under the Harahan Farmers Market. It's super easy to find. We would also like to announce that we are partnering with East Jefferson General Hospital to bring the Harahan Farmers Market to our neighboring community of Metairie. This market will be held at the East Jefferson Wellness Center on the corner of Homa and Kewanee on the first Friday of every month from 3:30 to 7:30. It's an opportunity to get Harahan's name out into our neighboring community, and if they go to the market at East Jefferson, they might come here every Sunday, and then they'll get to see all the amazing things Harahan has to offer us. So we're pretty excited about that. That is open to the public. There will be plenty of parking, and the first market will be held March 4th. So if you're in the area, come on by. And if you're not in the area, come on by. We have some pretty good vendors this week. I'm going to let y'all know who we have confirmed for the market this Sunday at the Harahan Playground. We have Black Creek Farms, that's meat and dairy. Story Farm, that's fresh produce. We have Dee's Lemonade and Barcelo Gardens, that's also fresh produce. Josie's Farmers Market, which has like pickled goodies. They're a pickled vendor. We have TT's Pepper Jellies, if you like the spicy stuff. Nut and Better, and those are candied nuts. We have some delicious hot foods coming this week. If you haven't had Miss Ursula's highly flavored foods, you are missing out. She is sassy, and she is out there with the good stuff. We all asked for you, our local Harahan vendor. He'll be out there, Christian will be out there with his barbecue goods, and he is doing hot tamales this week. So we're super stoked about that. Texana Creations is going to have their stuffed jalapenos, stuffed pork tenderloins, smoked cream cheese, red beans and rice, and sausage. I mean, guys, are you getting hungry or what? Flower Child Bakery will be making their debut this week, and they have fresh bread, and I'm super excited about that, and a lot of good hand treats, sweets. Abbey Cakes is another bakery. We have Evil Confections and their fudge, which is just sinful. And then we have some health and wellness vendors. The Joshua Tree will be out there, the CBD Wellness Center, which is my personal favorite. Breathe in Light, we have. They make candles, and their candles are so amazing. They have a Mardi Gras candle, and I got their praline candle this week, and it's smelling up my office. It's amazing. Osborne Soaps, handmade soaps. You can't ask for better than that. Bonjour Plants. Bonjour Plants, Louis is wonderful, and he has a beautiful selection of plants every week. We started adding some craft vendors to our market, and we're really proud to have a few new vendors this week. We have Oyster Girl Originals, and they do some really cool craft arts with oysters, and she also is a very talented artist. Some of her work, it's just beautiful. So she'll have that out there. Little Cute Craft Shop, and they do T-shirts, and she does some crafted T-shirts that are really adorable. VC Jewelry for all your jewelry needs, ladies, and men too. I'm not discriminating. And then we have the tumbler lady out there. Leslie Ann will be selling her tumblers. So once again, we encourage everybody to come out to the market on Sunday and come see our vendors. These are just our confirmed. We'll probably have some more by then, and we're growing every single week. So we'll be having more and more. I would like to once again thank Mayor Baudier, members of the council, and Chief Walker for allowing me to be here tonight and speak on behalf of the market, and for your continued support. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Real fast, we'd like to thank Tina Hunter, who's sitting in our audience as well, because she is incredible, and she's incredible help to me. She's kind of like my liaison between the market and myself, so she has been incredible. So thank you, Tina. You're awesome.
Thank you, Tina.
Bye, guys.
Special presentation number 2, Chief Walker, current state of the Harahan Police Department.
Okay, everybody in the town's talking about the incident that occurred this last weekend. These are the officers that were involved. And we're gonna tell you a little bit about what happened with these guys and the incredible job that they did. We received a call that, an incident was occurring on Hickory Avenue with a car being stolen. These officers responded, and while they were responding to the scene, they observed the vehicle that was mentioned in the bolo out on the air. They immediately began to follow the vehicle. They followed the vehicle down Jefferson Highway, who was trying to flee the area. The vehicle lost control, hit a telephone pole, and these officers didn't think twice. They were on this person who was armed with a gun. They knew he was armed with a gun. The call came out that he was armed with a gun. And one of our officers, Officer Corvetto, did something that's incredibly brave. He drove his vehicle intentionally into the side of the vehicle where he was directly in the line of fire. It's the most efficient way to stop a vehicle from fleeing, but it's the most dangerous to the officer. It takes an incredibly brave individual to decide to do that. He knew what he was doing. He's experienced enough. This was no accident. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was putting himself in the line of fire. He did it anyway. It's what officers do every day. He didn't hesitate. He didn't think. He just did. The entire team responded. They were able to apprehend this individual with nobody being shot, nobody being seriously hurt. Minor injuries all around. It's an incredible act to be able to take someone like this, a violent, multiple offender, as a juvenile. Things that are coming out now are this person's been involved in a lot of serious issues in New Orleans and is not afraid of violence. So what these officers did, what they do every day, what all of our officers do is incredible. So we want to honor them with commendations. So for, let's get Eric first. Yep. Officer Corvetto, would you come forward, please? We're issuing a Class A commendation for what you did. Thank you for your service. Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
And you do this every day, every day. Next, we have Officer Michael Barnett. While Officer Barnett doesn't have the years of experience that Officer Corvetto did, he reacted, and the things that he did were incredible with this. There's no veteran officer out there that could have done better than this. We're proud of him. We're proud of him every day. And for this, Officer Barnett issued the Class B commendation, second highest award. Thank you. Proud of you. Lastly, we have Officer Elena Nacio. Officer Nacio was incredible. Her sergeant just couldn't praise enough what these two officers did responding to this call. Same thing, throwing themselves into the line of fire. They were able to take this violent individual down without having to shoot him or have anyone else get hurt or themselves. So it's just incredible. Officer Nacio, you're awarded the Class B commendation. Thank you. Proud of you.
It's obvious when that fellow was leaving, he was trying to get back to New Orleans, and when he got to,
I think he's trying to get a picture of everybody.
okay. It's obvious the subject was trying to get back to New Orleans. He went up Jefferson Highway. When he got to Clearview, there was construction work. He jumped the median and went against traffic. There was construction workers that he just barely missed hitting until he finally got him into the telephone pole and was able to apprehend him. So it took a lot of courage what they did. We've been receiving a lot of complaints from citizens in Harahan, contractor fraud. We've had probably 3 cases in the less than 60 days. Part of it, I don't think they're using licensed contractors, number one. They're giving too much money up front, if not a whole lot of money up front before they have the work started, and these people are taking their money and they leaving. So I suggest to the public, before you hire someone, make sure they're licensed in Louisiana, they get a permit from City Hall, and don't give out too much money up front until the project started.
And just
And-
elaborate, Chief, you know, if it's IDA-related, that has to be done, we are still issuing those permits for free, but you still have to come get a permit.
Yeah.
So, we are trying to help with that as well, but you're exactly spot on the money.
Yeah, so
Make
we've
sure
had
they have a permit from the city. of
Probably in the
Harahan.
last 30 to 45 days, we've had 3 complaints, 2 in the last week, contractor fraud. We're still receiving reports of mail stolen from the post office box on Citrus. Harahan residents, if a Harahan resident deposited mail in one of the postal boxes on Citrus, we're taking a report to help the postal inspectors and the sheriff's office on it. And say it all the time, if you see something, say something. I still have people tell me they saw somebody suspicious in the neighborhood. Don't hesitate to dial 911. We answer every call for service, whether it's police, fire, or EMS. We go to the scene, evaluate to make sure it's a legitimate complaint and what's needed. So, again, have a happy and safe Mardi Gras. If you're going out with young children, please take a picture of them before you go out. The clothes they're wearing, in case they get separated, you have a description and a clothing description of the person, and also put some kind of identification, contact information in their pockets. Thank you.
Approval of minutes. Reading of the minutes of the council meeting on January 20th, 2022.
Carrie, before we move on to approval of the minutes, we lost someone this week very near and dear to us, a family member of mine, and a friend to all of us, and a friend to the city. And I would just like to take a moment of silence for Anthony Perella. It is a tragic loss, and we will so dearly miss him. Okay, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Approval of minutes, reading of the minutes of the council meeting on January 20th, 2022.
Motion to dispense.
Second.
Second.
All right, so I have a motion by Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Asbill to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the January 2022 council meeting. Will now open for public hearing. No one coming to speak forth. Will now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Reading of the minutes is dispensed.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on January 20th, 2022.
Okay.
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain. Will now open for public hearing. No one coming to speak forth. Will now close public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Do I have all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Minutes are approved.
We have no communications at this time. Resolutions. Proposed resolution number 2022-1. The following resolution was proposed by Councilman Chatelain. A resolution of the Harahan City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with No Limits Play Incorporated for the benefit of erecting a new playset on city property.
Okay, we'll now open for public hearing.
Good evening, Jason Asbill on behalf of No Limits Play. As you saw in November, we presented our playground project to the city and the citizens of Harahan. We're excited to get that done. We're hoping to have it done by this fall. This is just the first step in the process in cooperation with the city to be able to place the playset on city property. I've drafted this cooperative endeavor agreement in line with the Louisiana Legislative Auditors. I've passed it to Scott Stansberry with that link so he can compare the documents. I am asking, if you don't mind, to defer this tonight, just to give you guys some time to look at it, give the public some time to look at it, make sure it's all, and give the city attorney time to look at it, to approve it, and send you his recommendations. I'm here for any questions if you have them.
Question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, to, I'm sorry, motion by Councilman Chatelain. Well, he wanted to defer. So all right, whatever. Councilman Chatelain,
He's
we have a
requesting
motion on
us
the
to
floor by
defer.
Councilman Chatelain to defer the proposed resolution 2022-21. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Wheeler. We'll now open for public hearing on a deferral. No one coming to speak forth. We'll now close. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Abstain.
Up 4 yeas, 1 abstention, 0 nays.
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance number 2021-19. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain and seconded by Councilman Wheeler. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Harahan to execute an agreement with the Board of Trustees of the Municipal Employees Retirement System.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Buddy. We'll now open for public hearing. No one coming to speak forth. We'll now close public hearing. And we have a motion to defer. All in favor?
Yay.
And I'd like to elaborate a little bit on this. We are trying to find a process where we can offer retirement to city employees. We're looking at every avenue we possibly can look at, and so that's why Councilman Chatelain asked to have this ordinance deferred. Madam Clerk?
Proposed ordinance 2021-25. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Chatelain. An ordinance providing for the deposit of insurance claim proceeds into the capital fund projects fund. Sorry.
Okay, so we have a motion, on the floor by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Asbill. We'll now open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Council discussion.
I have a
2021
few
dash
comments. This is 2021-25, correct?
That's right.
That's correct.
I look at paragraph section 1, subparagraph A, allocating this money, insurance proceeds, to a department, and I don't think it's logical on the big picture scale. I think the money should be allocated to first repair the property that was damaged. And if the property was repaired with other funds, then I think this money should go to the general capital fund. Insurance proceeds don't belong to a department. The city pays the premiums, And if there's a shortfall and we need to replace a piece of property, the city's going to pay for it. So this allocating it to a department just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, allocating it to the repair of the damaged property, to make sure the damaged property is repaired or replaced, makes all the sense in the whole world.
Are we currently pulling out of the general fund to make repairs, or are we pulling money from capital with, how are we doing it right now?
We haven't moved any money around.
We haven't
out of
moved any money,
capital.
but
We haven't approved
how are
any.
we expecting to move it?
So in the past.
What's
the-
your idea of it? That's what-
Yeah, in the past, the city has funded repairs through either the general fund or the capital project
Correct.
fund. Specifically to Hurricane Ida, which is unique in the scale and scope, I guess since Katrina 15 or 20 years ago. To my knowledge, no substantial repairs have been done yet to any of the properties or to the facilities. So
And you
they're really-
probably, have we collected any insurance proceeds?
We have, yes,
have.
yes.
There were settlements, may max out policies. Can you give us a little
No.
information?
No, I don't have the details, but I know we've received, I think, some interim payments from the insurance entities recently.
Probably no full settlements yet, though.
Not to my knowledge, no.
All right.
You received them payments very recently.
Yes,
So anyway, I'd like to propose some amendments that would basically say that, the end of the day, that the money's first going to go to repair the property or replace it. And if the property's already been repaired or replaced, then the proceeds would go to the capital fund.
Well, that's what I was asking, if they're coming out of general fund yet, but you
Yeah, I'm
said
sorry,
nothing
they-
has come out of the general fund, correct? Like-
not specifically to Hurricane Ida, no.
Right.
I mean, claims in prior years, whatever has happened may have happened, but specific to Ida, no, there's been no substantial repairs or improvements to my knowledge. no.
Come out of the general fund? So
Correct.
it's,
Correct.
anything that's happening
Coming out of
is-
anywhere.
Okay, coming out of anywhere.
Right.
Okay.
So the amendments that I would propose on line 16, which is section 1, subparagraph B, after the words "shall be," delete the words "logically credited within," and then substitute in their stead on line 16, after the word "shall be," the words "first used from." Then on line 16, delete the word "the" in the far right hand. After the words "Project Fund 2," delete the word "the." Delete the remainder of the sentence, "department which experienced the loss of property," and substitute in their stead, "pay for repairs of the damaged property." I would define that with an open parentheses, capital P, property, meaning that property is capitalized, close quotes, close parentheses, which generated the insurance claim. And then finally, I would add a new section 1, subparagraph C. If the capital P property is either open parentheses, small I, close parentheses, not repaired, or open parentheses, double small I, close parentheses, repairs or replacements cost or paid for from other sources other than the insurance claim proceeds. I'm sorry. Not, or so not utilized to repair or replace the property shall be utilized for capital projects at the council's discretion. So the intention is just to have the money used to repair the damaged property or replace it, as the case may be. And when that's done, if there's any proceeds left over, they just stay in the capital fund.
Which I think that's what's gonna end up happening anyway.
Do you have a
Well-
copy of that so I can read
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I
'Cause
lost it
Yeah,
I
halfway
honestly
through.
did not
sorry.
I honestly did not follow.
I lost it halfway through
So
myself.
Todd, when you get these insurance checks in, obviously, they're specifically saying this is for the fire station, the police station, the senior center. Are they kind of already saying that this is the money that needs to be used to repair them?
No, I don't think so.
And I'm asking.
No, they're, to my knowledge, they're interim payments that we have received, not any final settlements or
But
any.
even the
fi-
interim payments that you're receiving now, if you get a check for
Are they dedicated?
$10,000, are
Are
they
they
saying this
dedicated?
is for interim for the senior
So-
center?
So
Fire
they,
department, police station, stuff like that.
so the insurance checks should be identified as to what building or property that the insurance is paid for.
Okay.
However, to my knowledge, insurance funds, by definition, they are not restricted for that purpose. So the city does not on its own have to use those funds to repair the police car or the gymnasium or the item that generated that insurance claim. Those funds, even though it says this check is for the fire station damage, the city, to my knowledge, is under no requirement to use those funds for that fire station repair.
Which for my background is why I presented the ordinance.
Correct.
Because I want to make sure that we try to make the department as whole as possible pre-storm.
Councilman Asbill, when you say make the department whole, do you want to just ensure that the proceeds are used to repair the damaged or
That-
destroyed property?
That's correct.
And I agree 100%
Or
with that,
replace, or
with that
replace.
intent, yes.
If we lost police vehicles in a destroyed,
If-
in
if
the
this-
hurricane, then we'd replace those
The
with
way
that
this,
insurance
the
money.
way I read this, and I may be incorrectly reading it as presented, let's just say, we had roof, I'm gonna make up a hypothetical, we had roof damage on the senior center, and there's an insurance claim pending, and the mayor, because there's water intrusion, hires a roofer to go replace the roof. Well, the roof is replaced. So that,
No,
but this would allocate the money to quote the senior center.
I understand what you're saying.
Yep.
And I think I understand your amendment. I just have to, just have
Yeah.
to see it, to be honest. I think I agree with your amendment. If it's already been done, then yes, we
Yeah.
do it. We replenish
So-
that money back to the
So
general
I'm
fund
happy
and
to,
then
I'm
apply
happy
the
to pass
rest.
this down and let you look at it now, because you're an eagle eye on this kind of stuff. And we can-
If we can make some,
go
if we
through
can
it
make some
now.
copies so everybody can just have a copy?
Yeah.
So Kerry, to your point, and this is what my understanding of it is, and God forbid, Todd, I'm not meaning to go against you, but I think that if we got money allocated to a certain thing through an insurance claim, FEMA would have issue if we used it for something else. Because every FEMA payment is dedicated to each part of that claim. And what they do is they deduct that insurance money off that FEMA claim. So if, say, we get money for the senior center roof and use it for a police car, FEMA's gonna have an issue with that. So, and FEMA will, the insurance company may not dedicate it, but I think FEMA will ultimately
So can we just draft something that says
dedicate.
that any funds that come in, any insurance claims, that if it's noted on, say, the stub, I guess, there's gotta be some kind of transmittal or
The
like
memo
a,
line
Sure.
or whatever.
yeah, something that just, I mean, just simplify it, that if it says senior center, that that's what the funds need to be used for.
What if the
If it's
repair's
police,
already
if it's-
been made?
Well, then I think if it's been,
Then we
the
replenish the
city
general
has
fund
already,
and use it.
right, if the city has expended the money to go ahead and get the roof because it's creating more problems,
Right.
and then we finally get the check, and then in all fairness, that just needs to go back, I would assume, to the general, right? Which is where it would come from.
Right, and look, I'm not targeting, perhaps this mayor. I think we need policy for future,
Really?
No, no,
right?
like,
I think we
Really?
need policy for future
Thank you.
administrations to make sure that they don't take these, because they can. They can take an insurance check and spend it on whatever they want, rather than the
so then
department.
we just simplify it and say that any,
So this is where I agree with you 1,000,000%,
Thank you.
Councilman Asbill, because one, I think it offers up another layer of transparency.
That's right.
And number two is that it was done to me as a councilman, and I would never want to do that to another councilman. And so I'm in 1,000,000% support of it. I think it's, just in transparency alone, it's an incredible tool that we use.
can we take like a 5-minute recess or something?
Okay? A motion on the floor by Councilman Wheeler to take a 5-minute recess. Do I have a second?
Yeah, so we can
Second.
look over
Alright.
it, yes.
Maybe-
Second.
maybe-
Second by Councilman Johnson. We are at recess. All right, we'll go back to council discussion.
I know there's some discussion about deferring the ordinance. I would be opposed to deferring the ordinance. It's been on the agenda, I think, since December now. I think it needs to be done. We've got insurance money coming in. That money has to go somewhere, and I think we should find a place to put it rather than just letting it sit or be put in the general fund.
Okay.
So I
Can I
think I
just,
have a motion on the floor to amend. Correct?
I'll second it.
I mean, we vote for it or against it. Let's,
vote for the amendments that you read?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbell, second by Council Chatelain to amend
No,
ordinance.
No.
Mr. Buddy.
Motion
Sorry,
by
motion by
Buddy.
Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Chatelain to amend ordinance 2021-25 as stated by Councilman Buddy. Will now open for public hearing. Anyone come to speak for those amendments? No one coming. We'll now close. All right, all in favor of Mr. Buddy's amendments?
Yay.
For Councilman, all right. All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
I didn't hear what you said. All right, so one yea, 4 nays, the amendments fail. It's like 1 yea, 4 nays, amendments fail. Okay, back to council, back to discussion
Okay,
about
I'll
the
propose,
amendment.
oh, did you want to?
Well, so I was talking to the finance director, and I think we're totally over dwelling on this. This would be a possible suggestion. I'm open to this. So we can structure this, section A, well, section 1, paragraph A, talks about that the proceeds go automatically into capital. We all agree that, correct? Why don't we just then derive it then that any funds paid for repairs, replacements, whatever it may be, needs council approval anyway to take the money out of capital, correct?
Well,
We can make-
not if you approve it by ordinance.
Well, we can put the language in here. That's what I'm saying. We could maybe remove or add a paragraph in. It already says in A, the proceeds will automatically be deposited to capital.
Yep.
We can add a paragraph that says as ABC roofing needs to be paid or the invoices and the stuff comes in, the council needs to pull the money out of capital. That has to be by a budget amendment anyway. We could structure that. And then we can also maybe add some language that if we had to stop the roof at the senior center from leaking and the city had to go ahead and front the money, we can't wait for the insurance to come in because it may cause more damage, then we could have a line that says if the city has already fronted those funds, then when the money does come in, it goes into capital, we make a budget amendment to replenish general fund.
I have an alternative amendment.
Yeah, similar, but
It's not, the thing I was trying to prevent, and I think what you've said does it, is a department shouldn't have a windfall out of this because of how things were paid for. And so capital funds don't belong to a department there. And so I think what you proposed would work.
I mean, it's kind of what's in here already, it's just not saying to refund any expenditures prior to.
So I have an alternative amendment to propose to paragraph B. I would add at the end of that paragraph, I'll just read it from the beginning of the paragraph B. The insurance proceeds shall be logically credited within the capital projects fund to the department which experienced the loss of property. Unless such loss has been repaired or replaced with funds from other sources, then the proceeds shall reimburse said source.
And my comment that I have with Councilman Asbill about that is the insurance funds could come in, FEMA funds could come in dedicated for the repair. So you have to spend the FEMA funds. Now we've put the money in a department in the capital projects budget.
And my counterpoint to that, to Mr. Buddy, when he mentioned that to me, was that we can always move capital project money around in the budget. We don't have to spend it at that department, but this just gives it a place for it to automatically go. And when it's time.
Then to that extent, I think we could just use paragraph A and let the rest up to the council. You could delete, we could delete
That was
B.
something that we also suggested too, was just the money goes into capital.
And then-
It can't
and
be
then-
paid out without our approval anyway, or
Without
any
our-
future
right.
council, let's put it that way, because you might get
Yeah.
checks next year, who knows?
Yeah.
But I mean,
But the only thing we thought about adding would be some language then that if the city did have to front the money per se from general to go ahead and stop the damage at a place until the insurance comes in.
So,
But I still think that could be done in a budget amendment.
right.
The money just goes into capital and it's
And then we
just dispersed
reimburse
accordingly
this-
from
we
there. It's how-
reimburse
if all the money just goes to capital, though, we don't know what department it was allocated to at the time that it came in. And I'm sure they can track it down and do it,
Probably
but
just code it a certain way, like 10,000 for fire, 50,000 for this,
well, yeah,
that.
that's what the line items are.
Correct.
You know,
right.
that problem's taken care of with a report from the
Right.
finance department.
I
You
don't know
know,
why we're
it's,
making.
it's going into a capital, for all the money's commingled in that fund.
All of
And
it
we
is, correct.
account for it on a spreadsheet, correct?
Correct.
It's either allocated or it's general unallocated money. It's all in a spreadsheet. So again, I think if we're going to rely on the current procedures and law that the council has to approve expenditures of capital funds, we don't need Section B. I didn't draft this amendment, and I thought the purpose was to protect the departments, to make sure, for instance, a department had a loss, and the money got spent by whomever on another department, a repair was never made.
Well, that's absolutely the purpose.
I tried to amend the agreement, the ordinance as I saw it. I'm okay with the money going into capital. I'm okay with it being first used, whether the law or insurance would require us to repair or replace the item. I'm okay with it going for that purpose. It's the intended use of the money. I just don't want a department to have a windfall because of some FEMA-related or other timing event of money and how things were repaired. So I think we could either eliminate paragraph B and just leave it up to the council. And as far as accounting goes, it's a simple matter to maintain a spreadsheet, say what money came in, and then the council gets a one-page document, and here's 22 line items of insurance company proceeds sorted with a description next to it. We should have that information anyway.
When funds come in for capital tie, it's for fire, police, when it's coded in the system, it's already.
Insurance or video poker money?
No, let's talk insurance.
Okay. What's the,
So if a check comes in for $50,000 from the insurance company and it talks about police, it goes into capital. Accounting codes it and says it's for the police department?
we would code it by department. If those departments are not currently set up, we can do that. Because that's not the way it historically has been tracked, because historically, these amounts were not significant to the city or any individual department.
Right, it's just in the case
So,
of Idaho, right?
Right, so
Or
we
any-
can certainly
right.
code it by department in the capital project fund. That is easy, yeah.
And that is what the ordinance as drafted, I think, would have you do. If money came in from an asset utilized by a department, you would, as this ordinance is originally drafted, put the money deposited, account for it in the capital fund, and allocate it to that department. Right? That's what this ordinance is drafted says.
Right.
But if those repairs are paid for by FEMA, then the department now has a windfall, whatever department it might be. They've got the money.
That money should go back to general.
Correct. So I think we can make this 6 paragraphs or 6 decision trees, or we can just say it goes into the capital projects fund.
I like six
And the
decision
council
trees.
makes a decision. If part of the deal is to keep the money out of the general fund, so a future mayor, a dastardly future mayor doesn't spend it on the wrong thing, this takes care of it. It leaves it in the hands of the council. It just goes into the capital projects fund, and the council allocates where it goes. If you just eliminate paragraph B.
Well, I guess B then makes the accounting specifically designated, because you're saying right now it's not being done, correct? It just goes in, correct?
But
So the easy part is to document which department that the insurance proceeds are for. That's easy. We can do that in the ledger, frankly, with or without this. To me, the decision point is who gets to decide on the use of the funds or the use of the funds? Is it just the overall council as part of the annual capital project fund budget? Or because these funds, when they first came in to Department 112 or 113, are they required to be spent on that department? And I think that's the decision point that the
So,
council needs to decide.
Insurance company gives us $30,000 for a new roof at the senior center. We put a new roof at the senior center, we take this money, we put it in a capital, it's line item at senior center. We get a new roof on a senior center, and we spend $26,000, you got $4,000 left, where's that $4,000 go?
We can then move that money to wherever we need it
Back to
within the
general
capital,
fund.
or, capital fund or general
is
fund.
insurance.
That's right.
You can move the general, you can put it in.
You can move it to general, or you can put
Once you
it,
make the repairs, the access money don't go to the department.
No, I mean, it's up to us. It's up to the council if we wanted to do that.
Once everything's paid, we can take it and either move to general or
We can move it to general, we can move it to top line capital, or we can leave it in the
Yeah,
department.
leave it in capital if you need it for something else.
You could leave it in capital.
It should roll over to capital or general.
Again, that's a decision for the council to make, and they can overturn any decision in the future that we make today, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Future
absolutely.
council.
Absolutely. Anybody can any council can override somebody else's ordinance if they have it.
Right, exactly.
But
I
the,
do.
All right, so we're gonna go back to 21-25.
I've got
Are
a,
we gonna leave
I've
it
got
as
an,
is, or are we gonna make an amendment?
I've got an amendment on the floor.
Okay, can you read that one more time?
Sure. So the amendment would read, paragraph B would read in full, the insurance proceeds shall be logically credited within the capital projects fund to the department which experienced the loss of property, unless such loss has been repaired or replaced with funds from other sources, then the proceeds shall reimburse said source.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill.
and I would like to comment on it, though, one more time.
Okay. Councilman Buddy?
If the money was paid by FEMA, what happens? If the repair was made by FEMA,
If the repair was made by FEMA,
Yeah.
let's say
Or
we
the
get,
general
let's
fund
say
was
we,
reimbursed
let's
by
say we get $300,000 to repair the fire department. Let's say we get $300,000 from insurance to repair the fire department. That's all they give us. FEMA gives us $5 million. We can fund the fire department with $5 million most likely. Then if that $300,000 is left in that budget, we can move it up to the top capital line, or we can put it in the general fund for other expenses. As a council, we can do that.
right, but why create a situation where you could have a windfall subject to a future council's action? We're doing something here that I don't know has ever been done before.
Future council could change it.
Yeah, future council can change it. But, so why are we, if the council has the discretion, and it does, why are we doing an ordinance to create a process that a future council might change?
For maximum oversight of the public's funds, I think.
Well, I'm gonna put to you, we should know what insurance pros we're getting. It shouldn't be a secret. It should be public information.
It is.
Well, I haven't seen it, and we haven't got much
Just
yet.
got-
I haven't seen
I'm
the
gonna say
checks
that,
either.
I'm gonna say that going forward, we should see it.
Haven't deposited checks yet.
Right, but going forward, we should see it in a report and an updated monthly. We should know what we're getting and what it's for. And we should, and the same thing when we start getting FEMA money, we should get a report what we got and what it's for. So it's all transparent. I just think that this creates the possibility of a windfall absent of future action by a council. And I could see the argument 5 years from now, well, that was the intention. It was clear, the intention was that money stays in that department, not that the council might move it in the future. So anyway, I'm happy to, that's all I have to say.
All right, so we have an amendment on the floor by Councilman Asbill, as he read, seconded by Councilman Chatelain. We'll now open for public discussion. No one.
Councilman Asbill, read that amendment
All
again.
right, we'll close public discussion and hear that amendment one more time.
I want to hear the amendment, then open public discussion.
All right, well, then we'll do it that way.
The amendment is to amend Section 1, Paragraph B to read as follows. The insurance proceeds shall be logically credited within the capital projects fund to the department which experienced the loss of property, comma, unless such loss has been repaired or replaced with funds from other sources, then the proceeds shall reimburse said source.
Okay, so now we'll open for public hearing. Anyone wants to discuss that amendment? No one coming forth, we'll now close public hearing. Councilman Chatelain, is that sufficient?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, we're voting on the amendment. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
All opposed?
Yeah, opposed.
So 4 yeas, 1 nay on Councilman Asbill's amendment. Amendment passes. All right, so now do we want to go ahead and vote on this ordinance, or do you want to go back to council discussion?
Just make an administrative note to change the year at the bottom, 2022, Madam Clerk. Other than that, I'm prepared
Okay, so now we'll
to
talk, now we'll call for the vote for,
proceed with the vote as amended.
all right, proposed ordinance 2021-25 as amendment. We'll open public hearing. Anyone want to come speak forth on 2021-25? No one coming to speak forth? We'll now close public hearing. All right, so now we're gonna call for the vote on 2021-25, sponsored by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah, as amended. All right, four yeas,
One nay.
one nay. Ordinance passes. I'm gonna ask for a point of personal privilege. We do have Senator Kirk Talbot here. He's our senator, and I'd like to bring him up, maybe to say a few words. It's incredible that he comes spend some time with us, so I want to make sure that we respect his time.
Thank you, Mr.
Councilman.
Mayor.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, members. Right now, we're in special session, for redistricting. We're about to wrap it up, I think, tomorrow. Senate District 10, the district I currently represent, not going to change much. The district right now is Harahan, River Ridge, kind of goes up David Drive, takes in a lot of Kenner, goes a little east, not to Transcontinental or Airline Park, but in kind of that new Metairie area. Probably going to go a little more east, maybe East Jefferson Hospital, dropping a couple of the Kenner precincts around the airport. But other than that, the River Ridge, Harahan, all that's staying intact. I know Representative Ilga is still up in Baton Rouge. House District 678, the district he represents, again, Harahan, River Ridge staying together. He's going a little east of Lafreniere, kind of jutting a few precincts into there. So other than that, really not any significant change.
He loses a little piece of River Ridge, I believe.
He loses one precinct that has my legislative aide who's living in it. Precinct 115, I think he's losing. But, it's hard because everything in North Louisiana has lost so much population north of Alexandria. Everything's just crushing down. So everything has to push over. Orleans gained a House district in mid-city, so that kind of kept things from going too east. A Senate district that is now predominantly Algiers and maybe goes over on the East Bank of Orleans some, is going to swing more to West Jefferson, so that's really going to be a West Jefferson district now. That's the seat held by Gary Carter. So, a big population, minority population has grown on the West Bank. But over here on the East Bank, it really hadn't changed a whole lot. So congressional map staying the same, 6 districts, 1 minority, 5 non-minority districts. So that's going to be the same. Now, whether the governor vetoes it or not, I don't know. He certainly has expressed his concern. He wants another majority minority district in Congress. If I'm sure there'll be some lawsuits filed, whether that gets overturned or not. There's a lot of question marks. As far as the legislative districts, I think we'll be fine. Congressional, I think you're going to see tied up in court and possibly vetoed.
And redistricting is done every 10 years, correct? Does that follow the census? Is that?
It does.
Okay.
It does. So we're also doing the state Supreme Court. That is not every 10 years. That's kind of at the will of the legislature. We hadn't done that in about 20 years, so we're doing that as well. But our area shouldn't change that much. Public Service Commission, I think, is staying about the same as well. So everything's, about the same. So
Thank you.
y'all are easy because y'all all run citywide, so you don't have to draw precincts and do all that. So, but regular session starts March 15th, I believe. So, we'll be talking about capital outlay and all that and all that good stuff.
excited.
So, yes, indeed. So, any questions while I'm here?
No.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Good. All
Thank
right.
you so much, Senator Talbot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk, back to the agenda.
Proposed ordinance number 2022-1. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman Chatelain. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1909, the annual budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022 for the Capital Project Fund of the City of Harahan, Louisiana. Fire Department Vehicle Capital Expense.
Okay, so we'll open for public hearing. Anyone who wants to discuss 2022-1? Now come forth. No one coming to discuss. We'll now close public hearing, and we'll go into council discussion.
Fire department approached me about some new department vehicles that they need. These are for smaller vehicles, not fire apparatus vehicles. They have a couple of vehicles that they're trying to replace that have been put through the shop here several times. Both of them over 100,000 miles on them and are starting to fail. I don't know if Lee Brown, do you want to, if you have any questions, Lee Brown's from the fire department is here. Chief Todd had.
Yeah, Chief Todd
other
had something
engagements.
going on. Lee Brown, Harriman Fire Department. We've got 2 vehicles, 2006 and a 2012, that are both over 100,000 miles. Lots of mechanical issues are starting to pop up. Mine, the F-250 that we want to replace, I can drive down the road and it'll kill on me all of a sudden. It starts right back up. That's the 6. Brought it to Ford. They can't get it to reproduce it. They have no idea what's going on. It's got oil leaks. It's got power steering leaks. Again, thousands of dollars to have it repaired. The Tahoe, the 2012,
Wait, one quick question. Do you have
Okay.
any approximate mileage on yours?
100,300. But it's not just the mileage with these vehicles.
No,
I
writing
just,
it down. No, I got it.
yeah. I mean, when we go to emergency scenes, we leave them sitting running because of the emergency lights and all that stuff. So there's a lot of wear and tear on these motors.
And the 12 is who?
The 12 is the Tahoe, the chief's vehicle. It's got some electrical issues going on. He's got something going on where when he goes to fill it up, from a half a tank to full, it takes him 45 minutes. An auto repair shop quoted him a price. They said they have to remove the fuel tank, they have to drop the fuel tank and do all kinds of things. I'm not a mechanic, don't claim to be, but that's what he was told he would have to do. It's got some other electrical issues going on. It's been overheating. He just had that vehicle repaired for overheating issues. And we just want to get some reliable vehicles because we need to have reliable vehicles.
Do you know the mileage on the Tahoe?
The Tahoe is 111,000.
One more time?
111,000.
So yours is 2006 and has 100,000. We have a 2012 that has 111.
I can't explain that. I can't explain that. I've only been driving the 2006 myself for 2 years. I don't know why the mileage difference, but that's the difference.
It's a big difference. I just want to make sure I had the right numbers.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Have y'all gotten any bids?
We've looked on the state contracts and the new HGAC. The chief has all those numbers, exactly what the vehicles would cost. He didn't provide me with those, but we would be buying off a government contract.
Yes, I think the contract prices came out to like 96,000 for the 2 vehicles, both replacing as SUVs. The trucks were more expensive than the SUVs, and that includes the light package and all that stuff that they would need on
And,
it.
and communications
Decals and-
equipment,
yeah.
decals. And we want to go with SUVs because we want to be able to put stuff in the vehicles and keep it dry. You know, our turnout gear, medical equipment, AEDs, other monitoring equipment. We carry these things called command boards. It's basically a big dry erase board to help with accountability at emergency scenes. So we don't want to go with pickup trucks for those 2 vehicles. Eventually, down the road, we might want to replace that other pickup truck we have, but we're going to stick with that one for now. So it's just the 2 vehicles that are driven by myself and the chief.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
You good?
Perfect.
You look
I
like
would
you
just
got
say,
something on the tip of your
I
tongue.
would like to see the bids.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, that probably should have been presented to us when it first came out.
Okay.
When this ordinance was first brought up.
Okay.
I'm a little taken back by the mileage, though, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very concerned about the mileage. That's a lot of miles on a vehicle that's newer than yours.
I can't
Newer
explain.
than yours. I'm just, this is not directed to you, Lee, by any means.
I understand.
It's
I
very
understand.
concerning, so,
Okay.
okay.
I'll make a motion to defer this.
Second.
And so we have a motion to defer, second by Councilman Wheeler. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nay.
4 yeas, 1 nay. Motion's deferred. Proposed ordinance 2022-1 is deferred. Madam Clerk?
We have no ordinances for introduction at this time. Old business number 1, Board of Adjustment dismissal and appointments.
I had made a nomination last month. Some things have been brought to my attention regarding that nomination. I will withdraw that nomination, leave it open for anybody else to make a nomination.
The few people I have spoken to are not willing to take position on the board, so I just turned it on, I'm sorry. I had reached out to a few people. Unfortunately, they have declined. So I don't, we're having a difficult time with trying to get people, or I myself, the few people I've spoken to don't want to serve on any of the boards. So I don't have any recommendations or any nominations.
The problem we're getting is, they just can't commit the time. I mean, they wanna get involved, but, I mean, the problem we're having now is people not showing up to the meetings, and they basically don't wanna be set in that same situation.
I guess a motion to defer
Yep.
again?
All right, so we have a
Second.
motion on the floor by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman, do we need to open this public hearing? We're now open for public hearing, anyone who comes forth. Y'all, please, we'd like to get some people involved here, you know, citizens of Harahan. This is a community, and so if we have a chance, you know, let's get involved. Now's the time. We have really started to turn this community in a positive direction. If you want to be a part of Harahan's future brighter days, because we have nothing but brighter days in front of us, please come out and be a part. Also, no one coming to speak at the public hearing. We'll now close it. We have a motion to defer by Councilman Wheeler, second by Councilman Johnson. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, we are deferred. Madam Clerk.
Old business number 2, Civil Service Board Administrative Appointment.
I had the opportunity to attend the last civil service meeting. It was a privilege. They also are talking to their contacts, trying to find a nominee for us to put up, but they're having the same issues that you guys discussed. Especially with that board, it's a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more, bit of a learning curve. You know, people have seen the history of that board, and they're worried about the time commitment it would take from them. So,
And again, this is Harahan's appointment. So this one's kind of important for us, and so I again, please, you know, please get involved.
So we're going to defer?
Motion to defer by,
yeah, I did get some clarification on the requirements for this from the civil service attorney. It is a little bit more than normal, has to be a registered Harahan voter for the past 5 years. So they have to have lived and registered to vote in Harahan for 5 years. And that's the only requirement of the board.
wow, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Asbill, second by Councilman Wheeler. We'll open for public hearing. No one comes to speak forth. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. It is deferred. Madam Clerk.
New business number 1, Todd Turnion, Finance Director, monthly financials with budget to actual comparisons.
Brief finance update for the council and for the public. So the finance team continues to work on closing out the year-end financial statements at December 31st, 2021, and preparing for the annual financial statement audit process. And that process will begin over the next few weeks with the external audit firm, and we expect that to be completed by June 30th for the submission to the Legislative Auditor's Office. So we've been focused on that lately. For 2022, we really just closed out the January month, and we have limited activity 1 month out of 12. Certainly the sales tax information that the mayor presented earlier is consistent with our expectations and what we had budgeted, and we continue to show good sales tax numbers on the revenue side each month. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that the council members may have at this time.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Thank you.
New business number 2, change the date of the March 2nd, 2022 Planning and Zoning meeting.
Okay, we'll now open for public hearing.
Yes, public hearing, sorry.
Still the date that I was told, right? The 9th? Okay. Maurizio Franchesco, 239 West Avenue, Harahan, Planning and Zoning Board Chairman. So I've just, again, request all citizens to come to the meeting for Planning and Zoning Board. It's going to be the following week after Mardi Gras. Again, always welcome participation by the public. We have good board participation. I sent out an email just a couple days ago. Want to get everyone trained up for the new year. I know we have a lot of things coming up 2022, so hope everyone can attend. Again, participation is the key. If I could do the adjustment one, I'd do it, but obviously I can't because I'm on one already. But again, always welcome participation to attend any of the meetings. Any of our trainings are always open to the public. Always free to open discussion. So,
So one quick question, you want to change the date of the March 2nd, 2022 meeting. So what's the new date?
the 9th.
Right, because this would be the Wednesday after Mardi Gras.
Right,
And a lot of
yeah.
people might be out of town, and it might not be attended.
Ash Wednesday.
It's Ash Wednesday.
That's Ash
too.
Wednesday.
So they're just gonna push it back a week.
Thank you, Councilman.
Hold on. Oh,
Thank you, Marita.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
We'll now close public hearing. We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Wheeler.
So just to be clear, we're moving this because it falls within the week of Mardi Gras and Ash Wednesday. We'll move it to the
With the
next week.
clarification by Councilman Asbill, which I'm taking that as a second. All in
Second.
favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. It is moved to the 9th. Thank you.
New business number 3, consider April council meeting date change.
Grab my phone. Trying to get my calendar.
So this was,
somebody
I
gonna
asked to put this on the agenda, excuse me. I asked to put this on the agenda to accommodate our city attorney's schedule. There's a couple of dates he's not gonna be able to make. This is one that we can accommodate for him, if everybody's schedules would allow. He's got some personal obligations that he has to take care of. So
Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, is that what you're calling it?
No.
it's an obligation.
Yeah, he isn't.
We're looking for the week.
So
So-
do you
so
wanna,
what
do
is,
you wanna push it back?
what's the
What works for
proposal?
you?
I have not proposed a date, honestly.
No, but I want-
Can we do it Wednesday? We can push it up a day?
Sure, love it.
That's not cutting you too close.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so
So we're talking Wednesday, the 20th?
April 20th. Oh, you teach on Wednesday?
What's a good day for you?
How
What
about,
about Tuesday?
how about Tuesday, the 19th? Is everybody open?
I mean, I can.
As long as you turn your taxes in on the 18th, we good on the 19th.
Well, if you don't turn them in on the 18th, it's,
You won't be here
Too
on the
late.
19th.
So we good.
I like the 19th.
19th?
okay, so
Oh, wait.
You got court?
please.
I mean, I'm gonna ask, why wouldn't we just move it to the Thursday before, the
That's
Thursday
what I was
after?
thinking. yeah.
That'll work.
Either before or after.
Well, let's see,
14th or
what
the
is that?
28th?
The 14th? 14th works for me also.
That's what I was thinking. Keep it on a Thursday.
That works for me.
I gotta write it down again
Carrie,
I'm sorry?
oh, there you
here. So here we
go.
go. All right, so Ms. Louise is gonna take an honorary motion from the floor. And, so we have a motion on the floor by Councilman
I'll take it.
Asbill.
Oh, that's
Um,
Holy Thursday.
Second by Councilman Johnson. We'll open for public hearing and change the council meeting to Tuesday, the 14th, which will be,
Thursday.
I'm sorry, Thursday, the 14th,
Yeah.
which will be the second Thursday of the month,
Of April.
of April.
April
Um,
14th.
Public hearing is now closed. All right, all in favor of changing the April meeting to the 14th
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
7 PM,
at
correct?
7 PM? Yes, sir.
Yay.
All in favor, 5 yeas, 0 nays. We'll now meet in April on the 14th at 7 PM.
There you go. Beautiful.
Madam Clerk, new business number 4.
Somebody needs to remind me of that.
Yeah, I know. I gotta look at my calendar.
New business number 4, the St. Rita Fall Festival Committee members respectfully request permission to sell beer and wine at the annual St. Rita Pecan Fall Bingo. This year, the bingo will be held on Friday, March 11th, 2022, from 5 PM until 11 PM.
Okay, so we'll now open for public hearing. Anyone who wants to discuss this, new business number 4? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Council discussion?
Yeah, I've got a question for the police chief, whether he's got the personnel to, I noticed that the next two things on the agenda are simultaneous, on the agenda. You've got the personnel to cover all of that?
It's gonna be an issue that night.
An issue as in we should not approve it, or?
So, oh,
Tap yours. Tap. There you go.
Okay. For a 5-minute recess.
Second.
5-minute recess.
We are now back.
So Chief, you're gonna be able to,
In regards to take
Yeah.
the bingo first, we have a pay detail for that.
How many officers? Do you know?
I'm not sure if they're working on it now.
Okay.
All right. The other part,
Bingo normally has 2 officers.
Normally, yes.
at least 2, yeah.
Right.
The other part, same time at 5, it's gonna be a major, major, major traffic problem.
Right.
Yeah, I've already, I mean, this is clearly right around where I live. I've already had some people in Raven concerned because the time says it's one way from 4:30. Well,
Well,
what if
it's-
people don't get
Yeah, yeah. Well, it says 5 on here, but,
the same time? And then they're blocking, you have to go from River Road.
no, it's,
Ms. Wheeler,
What, baby?
we're gonna be out of town.
I know, hush now, son.
yeah, well, that's gonna be the next one, so I don't know if we wanna jump, but that, it's only a one-way just in that first block, not the whole way down.
Still gonna have
they-
traffic,
No, but it
people going
says,
to the
it
bingo.
says you
wanna
have
make
to
su-
enter from Riverside and go all the way.
That's what they're saying, but I don't know if they're expecting that many people to come all the way. You know, it's gonna take up all of Ray-Van.
I can tell you, I've had some residents concerned that they don't get off work till 5 o'clock, so how are they gonna get to
With
their
being-
house? And they don't wanna
yeah.
sit in line
They're gonna
and
go
fi-
down, they're gonna go down Elaine.
cut over Berg.
They're gonna go down Elaine, they're gonna go up, they're gonna go down, Ray-Van and go to their house.
Well, if you look at this, my love,
Right.
it makes it look like you start at River Road and it's one way down to Jefferson Highway.
You're gonna go all the way down?
So I understand, are they gonna have access, I'm assuming, to get to their house?
It's
And they
one-
don't wanna sit in a traffic that
It's
could
one way
be.
for it's one way for the first
It
block.
goes pretty fast.
Yeah, it goes fast.
It's one way for the first block. That's what they request. No, that's on the next one anyway, but they're requesting Ray-Van for the first block, so nobody's turning where they're doing a drive-through. That's the only concern.
It's gonna be a problem with parking and traffic. Major problem. Yeah, major problem.
Y'all figure it
Right.
out. I won't be-
So just so everybody
Let's do
should
his
definitely
first
be
one.
at this bingo, because Councilman Wheeler and Councilman Chatelain, who pretty much win every single
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
we now all have a fair chance because they will not be there. So this bingo is the one.
I wish we were, but unfortunately, we will not, so.
When I was in a representative.
No, no, please.
Oh, Jeff, it's very considerate.
Oh, no.
So I motion to approve the bingo.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Johnston, second by Councilman Buddy to approve the bingo. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. It is approved. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
No, now we gotta do the other one.
New business number 5. The members of the St. Rita Dads Club respectfully request permission to make Ray-Van Avenue from Jefferson Highway to Berg Street from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. a one-way heading north to Jefferson Highway. The fish fry will be held this year on Friday, March 11th, 2022, from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m.
Okay, so we'll now open a public hearing. Anyone who wants to discuss this? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. Council discussion.
Okay.
So Chief, here's
On-
the, oh, go ahead.
On this right here, I talked to Brian Roush. He said that they have 5 to 8, but they really don't need 5 to 8. He says they're only advertising for 5 to 7, so they just want it from 4:30 to 7, a one-way for the first block.
And hopefully they sell out like they normally do early.
Right.
But if you go
Correct.
back to Jefferson Highway, we have that problem, traffic
So-
backing up, and you
Ne-
got the people going to the bingo.
Right.
So this might be the best way.
So
to
my,
Right,
so my
absolutely.
question is, Chief, was your department involved in this? Because look, you guys are the traffic guys, right? You know traffic better than anybody else in the city.
Right.
Maybe not the best of anybody in the world, but better than anybody else in the city. Were y'all involved in making the route? And do you
It
need
should
to
work- it should
revise?
work, Because if it goes back the other way, coming off of Jefferson Highway, going south on Ray-Ban, it's gonna interfere with the people going to the bingo.
So you agree this is the better way?
Right.
It's better than what, yeah.
Is there, has your department explored a better way than what this is?
Maybe
Well,
just
only
not
other
at the
way is
same
going
time.
Jefferson Highway, and you have people going to the bingo, it's really gonna be a traffic problem.
Again, the only concern I've had from people on Ray-Ban is they don't get off of work till 5. They don't wanna sit in traffic if it's tied up. I'm just telling you what I've been told. I
Right,
mean,
just-
I will support it, but
Right.
that's what I've been hearing. So we're gonna have to try to figure, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
It's just like I said, just like it says in here, from Jefferson Highway to Berg, it's just the first block. I know that interferes with some people.
So Chief, let me also
But-
ask you a question. Are y'all gonna have a police officer as the traffic?
First, how would it read just one block? This says Jefferson.
It says right
Highway
here,
Board.
from Jefferson to Berg. Yeah, that's the first block.
So y'all gonna have traffic control out there for this?
We'll take it.
Even on the highway to start
Wait,
running
people
people
around
out and
there.
stopping it so they can
Plus, we have
feed out?
another issue with the bingo too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fish fry will also have signs pointing to take a lane.
Are you requiring a traffic detail for the fish fry? I mean, I think you should.
Probably,
I know it cut into their profits a little bit, but I said, I know it cut into their profits a little bit, but I don't think we should be taking guys off the street to work a private event.
Reserves to handle it, like they normally do for the fish fry.
Okay,
So how do we get the word out to the residents? So they
Sir?
don't get
that's not
lost?
our, that's,
So
How do we get word out
I
to
can
the
tell you in
residents?
past, if a street's been blocked off for a period of time, they will go and put notices on the
They
doors.
are going to, yes, I
Oh,
already know
good.
that, yes.
And I'm assuming there's must have been communication, because somebody came to me before this. And
Good.
did, so, it might have been a St. Rita family member or something, or
Good.
maybe something was said in church, so they knew. The only recommendation I would make, and I don't know how, Chief, how that's gonna work for y'all, is if there is a resident that's not in line trying to get the fish and they just wanna get to their homes, I don't know, how y'all will have to figure that out,
Right,
but
right. But also.
that's my only concern. It's gonna be a
It's
mess.
if we can have 2 lanes going north on Ray-Ban.
The problem is people park.
Parking on this, parking on
You
that.
know,
Yeah, Councilman
Put some
Johnson's
no
got that
parking,
figured out.
temporary no parking signs up?
No,
But
they're gonna complain about that more.
I do want to make that amendment to this letter, though, because after speaking to them, they wanted started at 4:30 and they could end it at 7.
Okay, so you have an amendment, Councilman Johnson. Let's
For
hear
the
it.
fish fry?
For the fish fry one, correct.
second
To make it a
the amendment.
one-way for from 4:30 to 7.
All right, yeah, that's
because
what they have on here.
They're only
Just a
advertising 5 to 7.
We have a motion on the floor by
On the
Councilman-
letter
Oh, the
itself.
letter, I'm
The
sorry,
letter
the letter.
itself,
Gotcha.
correct.
Motion on the floor by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Abdul. Will open for public hearing. No one coming to speak forth. Will now close public hearing to change the times from 4:30 to 7, to close from Berg to Jefferson Highway, make it a one-way, I'm sorry, not close. All in favor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. It is approved. Thank you.
For the amendment.
For the amendment, okay. Now, well, new business as amended will now open for public hearing. No one comes to speak forth. Will now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
Yeah.
yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Thank you. Same sponsors.
Yeah.
You got this.
New business number 6, move June council meeting date.
Let me pull back on my calendar.
What do we, it's the whole week, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, I'm out the whole week.
You're looking at
So,
moving it
uh,
probably to the 23rd, maybe,
it
if you want to
back.
keep it on Thursday?
yeah, that would work for me.
9th or 23rd.
The 23rd.
Either works for me, folks, and I'd appreciate
Council
whatever
meeting
y'all.
for June, we're gonna go with the 23rd at 7 PM.
Second.
We have a second by Councilman Wheeler. Now open for public hearing. Anyone want to discuss the change of that date? No one coming forth. We'll now close public hearing. All in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Council meeting for June will be on June 23rd at 7 PM. June 23rd will be the 4th Thursday of that month.
Thank you, council members.
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk,
Address the council.
anyone like to come forth and address the council, please come forth, state your name and address. No one coming forth to address the council. We'll now close address the council. Madam Clerk, next.
Secretary's report. Secretary's report for January 2022. Total revenues were $473,492.
Okay, Chief
Reports.
Walker.
Stats for Harriman Police Department for the month of January 2022. We had 649 calls for service, 6 accidents, 76 citations for 162 different charges, and only 1 patrol request for the month. Narcotics arrests for the month were 16 for 24 different charges, 11 of them were felonies, 7 misdemeanor, 6 city. Number of other arrests were 43. Other charges were 128, 18 felony, 55 misdemeanor, 12 city, and 43 traffic arrests. Person and property crimes for the month. No murders, no rapes, no robberies, no residential burglaries, no non-residential burglaries, no motor vehicle thefts, no attempted motor vehicle thefts. We had 6 larceny thefts and 5 assaults. So, thank you.
Chief, I got a couple questions for you, if you don't mind. Curious about personnel at the department. Is it still at levels, previous levels? Have you lost anybody? Are you replacing those
We've
guys?
lost 2 in the last week. We've got, we'll be this Saturday. We have 1 resigning and one of our records clerks retired this past week.
Okay, and also, the other question I had regarding civil service hearing, like I said, I went to the civil service hearing, and Ms. Barbara expressed some frustration on some things that she's waiting from the administration of the police department. Are you guys working on trying to get that done? Can you maybe explain that issue regarding the lieutenant position that you're trying to fill over there?
Chief thinks he has been in communication with the attorney for our civil service, despite what was said the other night. So they are working on it.
Can you kind of explain the issue? Because I don't understand the issue. If you come to the meeting, unfortunately, you don't really understand everything that goes on. I guess you're trying to create a new position of lieutenant, is that right?
Yeah, with,
And you're trying to, I guess,
Not quite.
amend that position?
I'm sorry,
You're trying to amend that position within the department, is that right?
create it with certain criteria to fill that position.
So criteria that aren't normal for that department, is that,
Change the criteria, add some criteria to it. The person that would be in that position would have to have certain type of experience, education.
okay, so you're trying to restrict the criteria a little bit
Correct.
more than what it currently is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Chief St. Cyr's not here. Councilman Asbill, report?
Okay. I don't know what, I'm just gonna mention everything that I have written down. First of all, Friday night, tomorrow night, is the Lions Club Miss Harriman Pageant. Check their Facebook page for more information. It seems like it's gonna be a fun event. I'm gonna be there as a judge. Councilman Chatelain may be there as a contestant, I'm not sure. I'm a judge too. Oh, get out. I want to thank the HAA for putting on the King Cake Party at the Harahan Playground. I think they did a good job with that. People came out to it, mixed well with the farmers market. March 25th is going to be the Firefighters Association Fish Fry over at the fire department.
that
Come on
time
out
of
for
year.
that and get some good fish. They have really good fish, big pieces usually.
You have a time on it?
Don't have a time on it,
You'll
but
do lunch
they do lunch and dinner.
From 11 to 1, and then we usually do dinner
like 4 or 5.
And
to whenever we sell out.
And I think they do a delivery of 10 plates or more to businesses for lunch and
That's
stuff like
March
that.
25th?
March 25th, that's right. Friday, March 25th. Yeah, it's Friday. And just a reminder, Saturday, March 26th is the fire sales tax election. I'm asking you to come out and vote yes to support your firemen, to help them get what they need for their safety and well-being. Have a happy and safe Mardi Gras.
Councilman Buddy?
The only thing I'd like to do is to thank Dale Veliz for his contribution. That's very touching, you know, for a citizen to donate that amount of money to a police department or any department in the city of Harahan. It's a very nice thing to do. Thank you, Dale.
Councilman Chatelain?
No comment.
Councilman Chatelain, you want to chime in? You good? Thank you, Councilman Chatelain. I'd just like to say you're an awesome councilman. Love having working with you. Councilman Johnston?
Have a happy and safe Mardi Gras.
Councilman Wheeler?
I would just like to thank all the council members and the mayor for donating for the King Cake Party. Jimmy Dudenhofer had asked the council to put up or find donations for the gift cards that were given out, and each member of the council so graciously called some businesses for us. Councilman Asbill was able to, I'm getting there. We have from Texas Roadhouse to Red Wagon to the Bowling Alley, Otter Boutique. Red Wagon, I apologize if I'm forgetting everyone, I don't remember, but we were able to
Parents.
secure parents. Okay, Uncle Matt's Bar. Just want to thank everybody. It was a collaborative effort. We were able to get all those gift cards together, and I think it seemed like it was a good time. We also want to thank Kalutas. They donated all the king cakes. I believe there were 25 king cakes. They were really, really good. So, and for those who won, congratulations. I don't know who all won, but it seemed like it was a good time. And again, have a safe and happy Mardi Gras. Let's pay the bills. Are you giving a report?
I'm just real simple. I want to thank the fire department for everything they do. I want to thank the police department for everything they do. And we do live in an incredible city. Come out, visit the farmer's market, be a part of the community, get involved. That's it from me. Madam Clerk, pay the bills.
Pay bills. Bills paid in January 2022.
We got to do
Total
Secretary's report, too.
expenditure.
Oh, no, we already did.
$1,539,122.08.
It's getting too late.
Are we going to be bankrupt, Todd?
So in that number, no, we're
Please
not.
say something.
No, but that includes the annual insurance premium, so we paid that in full, and as well as some of the FEMA expenses and the DEQ loan payment which we're required to make out of the sewer fund.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification.
No executive session, adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Chatelain, second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yeah.
We are adjourned.